This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for getting on board and joining the session. Today we'll be briefing up about what exactly testing is, what are the curriculums that we are going to cover in the entire journey, and how exactly these things needs to be taken care of, starting from scratch. So this session is pre-planned in such a way that people who are not aware of what exactly testing is all about, or any candidate who is not aware of what software testing is, why we need to do that, what are the key areas that we need to take care of, and stuff. So everything is actually pre-planned. We'll walk you through what exactly we are going to cover. We'll walk you through what exactly the curriculum would be for the next days that are coming up for all of us. Before that, if I kickstart my name, so hi everyone, Akhil this side. I have like 7.5+ years of work experience working into IT. So I'm working as a software test engineer. If I talk about the domains, there are different domains have been working on, like e-commerce, learning management systems, content management systems, and functional API testing, then automations as well, mobile testing. So these are certain curriculums, or you can say certain areas of expertise that I have been working on so far. That's it about me. So moving forward, for today's agenda, I'll first walk you through the curriculum, and then I'll walk you through the basic concepts of what exactly testing is, or you can say software test fundamentals. If anyone has any issues, any doubts, query, concerns, feel free to use the option of raising the hands. If you will raise your hands through the software, I'll get a notification that whose hands are raised, and once your query is resolved, would request you to uh, put your hands down as well using the React button. Alright, so I'll be presenting my screen. Let me know once you all can see the screen, please.
Akhil, where are you located? From India?
Hi back guys, I had a bad network here. Alright, I hope I'm audible now.
Yes, sir.
And alright, and hope you can all see my screens right now. Perfect. So I take it as a yes. So for today, the basic agenda would be giving you a walkthrough of what exactly we would be covering up in the coming sessions, of which the curriculum says what exactly software testing is, what is the software, what is software testing. Then we have a different type of software testings like software, what exactly is hardware, software testing, then bug, defect, error, fault, failures. Then comes your point that why do we need software testing, right? So every now and then there is a new requirements, there are new challenges that come up into the software industry. Without testing any kind of software or any application, you cannot move ahead. Moving ahead, we have like myths, we have different models come up, then roles and responsibilities of team lead, test leads. Now from here starts the main agendas, which is like software test lifecycle. We also have software development lifecycle, static, dynamic testing, black box, white box. So all these are the categories of testing techniques that we would be focusing on going forward. Just like we have some important concept, or just like we have some important areas to play, similarly we have one of the important aspect which we call as Scrum. So this is something that is related to Agile. All these are kind of technical terms right now. We eventually will be focusing on the base layers first, and then we will be taking up on the hierarchical levels. Then product backlog. For any software to develop, for any basic stuff to be worked upon, we need the requirements, right? We need what exactly we need to develop. We need what exactly is the requirement from any person. For example, if you want to cook a vegetable, what are the prerequisites? You might need a salt, you might need pepper, you might need cucumber, etc. What all veggies you want to cook, right? So those are kind of the requirements that come up. That's what we basically focus in the product backlog. Then we have ceremonies, scrum ceremonies, processes, PO, product owner roles and responsibilities. So this is something that we'll cover as a part of manual. Once that is done, the agenda would be to move into the API side. And then not to forget, we'll also be covering up test management tool Jira. We have the option of covering severity priority, which would be really important from our side. Now, once the basic stuff is done, the goal would be to move to the API side. Now, if I talk about API, what exactly is API? Why API is needed? Different kind of tests that we need to perform, and then there are two types of API that are available. We'll drill down that also in the forward lectures going forward. And then once that API theoretical part is done, now would be the time to focus on the practical part. So while covering the practical side, we will have one tool that we call as Postman. So Postman tool basically covers up the testing, the end-to-end testing of your APIs. Postman is simply like you can imagine Postman tool with the person who actually works as a postman for us. So what he basically does is he or she, we go ahead and drop the letter into the post box. That particular postman comes, picks up the letter, reads the address, and drops that particular letter to the destination, right? So the person is acting as an intermediate between the source and the destination. The same way, Postman tool acts as an intermediate between the source, that is our computer, and the destination, that would be server. Again, it's a little technical right now. We will be drilling down deep into this once we start off with the API testing, and then how to create the collections in Postman. So collections are nothing but the folder structure in which all similar kind of requests and responses are stacked. Just for an example, in your laptop, if you make three folders, one is for your class 10th, the other one is for your class 12th, and the other is for your let's say college degree. Now, if you have your sixth semester mark sheet, can anyone tell me in which folder will you put it? I'll repeat again. You have three folders in your laptop: class 10th, class 12th, and college degrees. You have a sixth semester mark sheet of your college. Which folder would you want to put that in? Will you put that in 10th class folder? Will you put that in 12th? Or will you put that in your college degrees folder? What would be the most suitable folder to put that particular document in? Rupam says class 10th. I'm saying college degree folder, Rupam. That sixth semester mark sheet is your college mark sheet, not class 10th. All right. So collections are nothing but a mechanism of organizing your given work into a neat and clean way that anyone else can come and use those particular requests and responses, or you can say the APIs for now, and that can be easily read, understood by everyone. So the answer to that, which I was expecting, was that it's a 6 semester mark sheet. You would be putting that in your college degrees folder, not class 10th, Rupam. So this is what we would be covering up with API, with basics of your software testing, and then we have a mobile testing as well. How exactly testing is done in mobile device, what exactly are hybrid apps, native apps, and stuff, and how can we actually convert the desktop application into a mobile viewport to test the functionality. All these are basic stuff that we'll be covering up in mobile part. This is what exactly the curriculum looks like. Uh, Reaching out back to you if in case anyone has any doubts so far or would want to discuss anything. Anyone has any queries so far, or we are good to proceed ahead?
We are good, I guess.
All right, I take it as a no. Thanks, Kavita. Now, what we see right now here is software testing's basics or fundamentals. So let's say this is actually the building block of what we are going to cover up is the fundamental. The very first thing is what is a software and what is software testing. Can anyone say, or can anyone wants to try what exactly software is? We do not target for any bookish language. Any simple line would be really helpful. From your point of view, what do you think is a software? Siddharth, Pradeep, Ravi, anyone wants to chime in? All right. So what exactly software is? Software is a set of instructions, data, or programs that are used to operate a computer and execute a specific task. What do we basically understand by software being worked upon? It's basically it's a bookish language. If you notice, this is like a set of instructions, data, or programs which are used to operate the computer and execute specific tasks. Now over here on the screen you might see a calculator, which is simple. Like if I do 2 plus 2 and I do equals, it says 4, right? So what is this? This is basically a software. I fed certain instructions in it. That is like if someone calculates 2 plus 2, it should be 4. If someone does, let's say, into 2, it should be 8. If I'm subtracting 2, it should be 6. So these are set of instructions, these are set of programs or some scripting that is done to operate the computer and execute the specific task. Now, execution of the task basically means when you are doing some hands-on on it and it is giving you the output. Based on your input, you are getting the output. That's what we basically say as execution of the task. For example, if I'm doing 1 plus 2, it's 3. It's not multiplying a number, but it should be adding the numbers, right? Just taking a very basic example. So it's a set of instructions that are used to operate the computers and execute specific tasks. It is definitely opposite of hardware. So what does hardware stands for? Hardware basically means anything that is available as an external part of your system. For example, RAM, the CPU fan, the hard drive that you have, etc. All these comes as a part of your hardware. So hardware examples, if we talk about, we have RAM, we have fan, CPU fan, we have CPU, we have modem, and then if we go within extra, etc., everything is covered in it. Software examples, if I talk about, we simply have internet browser that we are using right now, any movie player, let's say VLC media player, or we have Adobe Photoshop, etc. So software is any application that you are using nowadays. All of you might be using Instagram, all of you might be using Facebook or any kind of messaging app, let's say WhatsApp, right? WhatsApp is pretty common across the globe. So WhatsApp is also what? It's a software that is available. It's an application. So that's what this particular line also says. Software is equal to application which you might be using every now and then, which you might be using in your day-to-day work. You might be using Big Basket, you might be using any other applications that is available, maybe like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Google Meet, Zoom Meet, the go-to meet that we are on right now, that's also a software. Now came up with a picture. Fine, we are fine with what exactly software is, we are fine with what exactly the stuff is, but why do we need software testing? Now, the requirement of software testing came into existence because there can be a huge risk if we do not test the software. If the quality of the software is impacted, it can cause huge loss of business. How many of you are here from India? Or let's say, like as Kavita, you said you are from Dallas, and Shabir, you also said you are from the US part, right? So over there, what we have like the huge amount of sales that come upon Costco. We have huge amount of sales that come upon,
Right.
uh, right, mobile platforms like T-Mobile and stuff, etc. So
Hmm.
what exactly happens during the Black Fridays? What exactly happens during the Thanksgiving days, right? There are huge amount of discounts being given on Costco and other wholesale websites. Based on your PIN code, you search the delivery, you go ahead, purchase it, and the amount, I mean, the things gets delivered at your home, right?
Hmm.
Another thing you can keep a check is now what, just imagine you have to order something. Let's say you have to order 4 iPhone 15, 7 PlayStation 5, 5 gaming consoles and stuff, right? Maybe a washing machine, a lot of stuff. So you have to order something that costs around 50,000 US dollars from that particular website. If the website is not tested, if the website is not accepting your location, if the website is not delivering or telling you that it will be able to deliver to your PIN code, do you think you will go ahead and use that application?
Oh,
Let's say there are two applications. One is Amazon.com, the other is Costco. Amazon is giving you the proper look and feel. It's giving you everything that is available, right? And then on the other side, we have another website. Let's not name that website A and website B. This is how we can take it up. Website A has a proper look and feel. Website B is kind of not giving you that look and feel, and also it's not allowing you to do proper transactions and anything. This is something that is impacting your user journey. I hope you all get what user journey is, right? You are adding an item to cart, trying to make a payment and things, and then trying to order it finally. So all those things are impacted. So Shabir, what do you think? Which website you will go for? Website A, which is working end to end, or website B, which is not allowing you to interact with the system?
A,
Why A?
because it's working end to end.
Perfect. Now, how do you think anyone, not Shabir this time, thanks Shabir. So anyone, how do you think you can get the quality approved? Like, how do you think you can give a stamp of okay tested on anything, on any product? Can that be done without testing? I mean, I simply go ahead, deliver one app, I mean, develop one application and launch in the market. Do you think is this a standard way or should we go through a testing process as well?
you should go with testing process.
Exactly. That's the only reason why testing was introduced. Otherwise, just imagine that simply developing the application and launching it into the market. it would have caused huge blunders in the in the current market in the e-commerce industries. For example, as I said, application B is not allowing you to proceed. It's not allowing you to do online credit card transactions, right? Although you see the page, although you see the look and feel that you can enter the credit card, but the moment you click on make payment, nothing happens. Or the moment you click on make payment, everything gets debited from your account if you are using a debit card, or if you're using credit card, things just go like this, and you do not see the order confirmation. You do not receive any kind of email that thank you Kavita, thank you Shabir, thank you Ravi, your orders has been placed, right? Anyone. So if this is not done, that is impacting their business, because I'll go for the first time on their application. If I face any kind of bad experience, I will tell the same thing to 10 other people, and then those 10 people who were using the application earlier will now, they might think, let's say, twice or thrice before going into that application, right? So it's a business loss. And again, if on the big billion day, like as I just talked about the sales, on the big billion day which happens across the globe now, there is huge sale coming up, right? The Apple watches are being given at a 50% discount, so you get them at, let's say, $100, $200. These big e-commerce giants have huge amount of business on those 2 3 days, right? So in US we have Thanksgiving coming up in the month of November. In India, the festive season is already uh, on the verge of it, so the sales are going on. Now just imagine 1 crore people accessing different e-commerce website. If the website is not fully developed and tested, if the website is not able to take the load of 1 crore plus people, this is something that will impact their business in huge amounts. We feel that we are ordering something which is of, let's say, $10, $15, or let's say $5. There are 1 crore people who purchase the same thing at different time zones. So if 1 crore people, 1 million people are purchasing 1 rupee thing, or let's say $1 thing, this is what the business is for that particular e-commerce giant, which is $1 million. Now if the website is down, that $1 million business is down within fraction of seconds, correct? So that's the reason, I think the entire process was to give emphasis on why exactly software testing is needed. So now if anyone asks why software testing is needed, this is some in real time example that we can go ahead and tell. On the contrary, the other examples which I generally take up is, suppose you go to market, you purchase some fruits from, let's say, Walmart. You go to market, you purchase some fruit from any of the big grocery stop. You come back, you paid $100, let's say anything, any amount, 100 rupees, and you came back without checking anything, without testing the food, without testing anything. Now once you come back, the food was rotten, the fruit were rotten. So this was a wastage of time, this was wastage of money, this was wastage of human power, right? Had it been if we would have tested the product over there, if we would have checked the quality over there, if a quality check was done at that shop, it would have saved our time. So that's what exactly software testing is all about. Software testing is nothing but a method to check whether the actual software product matches the expected behavior. Now, if I talk about actual versus expected, if we talk about actual versus expected, actual is what we have developed. If I just take actual versus expected, let's say actual says you have to draw this login form. I mean, the expectation is you need to draw the login form in which it should have user ID, password, email field, and then a submit button. We were able to draw the same form with the user ID, password, and email address followed by a submit button. Now, this is what we drew. This is what the expected was. So now if actual versus expected matches, like let's say if the actual software, that means this is something that we are developing. Expected is that business is telling you to do, right? And if the quality matches, that means we have done a great amount of testing. the testing is successful and there are no errors, no bugs, nothing. But if actual versus expected does not match, if it matches, well and good. If it does not matches, that means this particular implementation has defects in it. And this is why we basically say that it is a software which has bugs in it, so we cannot release this particular software into the market. Again, going through the definition, basically software testing is nothing but a method to check whether the actual development that we are doing or the team is doing matches the expected business requirements and to ensure that product is defect free. This can be achieved using two ways: manual and automation. Now if I take a very simple example of Nike shoes website, very simple. Now client said, the client said, who basically owns this particular website, they said that I want a search functionality. Now if I search for Nike, I should get some kind of suggestions, right? I'm getting these good amount of suggestions over here if I search with Nike. And if I type anything else, I should not get any information that is available or something like that, correct? If the expected versus actual worked, fair enough. Let's say if the auto suggestions were coming up, this is great. If they are not coming up, it's an issue. So that's why the auto testing is important. Another way is that how can you achieve the testing? How can you get the testing work done? So there are basically two ways in which the testing can be achieved. One is the manual, the other one is the automation. Now what exactly is manual versus automation? We will go it on the next slide. Understanding the main purpose. The main purpose of software testing is to identify issues. Main purpose of testing is to identify bugs. Main purpose of software testing is to identify if there are any gaps in contrast to the actual requirements. Now, anyone, any doubts? What exactly is software, hardware? What is software testing and why do we need that? I would like to spare, let's say, 1 or 2 minutes with in discussion. If we are good, we can move ahead. If you have any concerns, please feel free to ask. All right, I take it as a no then. Now, another thing is that how can we achieve software testing? There are two ways in which software testing can be achieved. One is the manual, the other one is automation. Manual testing is what we are here for. This is something that does not require any coding skills. Having said that, it does not require any coding skills is fine, but there is a precondition to it. You need to have a strong understanding of the product. You need to have a strong understanding of the business requirement. You need to have a strong understanding of how the data is flowing within the application from one page to another, from one form to another form. On the other hand, automation testing is you need to have strong understanding of the coding concepts. You need to understand the automation framework. You need to understand some basic concepts of OOPS. And contrary to that, we have another same precondition that is there for manual, that we need to have a strong understanding of the product. Now, can anyone tell that if I do not know what I need to do with the search functionality, will I be able to test it? If I do not understand what exactly the product will look like, what will happen if I click on blazer? I have no idea, right? What will happen if I click on the shoe? I have no idea. If I do not have the idea, what will happen if I go add to bag without selecting the size, right? It's getting red in color. So if these information is, if I'm not knowing this, I will not be able to go ahead and test any application, right? I'll not be able to go ahead and add it to cart. But if I know this, then I can write the automation script also, which will automatically come here, click on it, and add the particular product to cart, and then we will be sorted with that, right? If I do not know what will happen if I add to favorite, what will happen if I click on any other button, right? What exactly would be the look and feel for that? What happens if I click on this? Is it changing the direction? Is it am I able to rotate the shoes model like this? What exactly happens? So if we do not know all this, we will not be able to automate, we will not be able to do a manual testing as well. This is as same as you install an application, and if you do not know how to use your phone, you will not be able to install the application, if even if you are an iPhone user or an Android. First thing is you should know how to operate the phone, then only you will be able to access all the applications that are available in that, right? This is something which we do not need to worry much on, let's say defect or bug, whatever it is. So anything when actual is not matching the expected, this is a very basic stuff. Let's say if the actual is not matching the expected business requirements, this is what we basically called as a defect. All right, now moving forward, what we have is why we need software testing. So these are all the points that we had already covered earlier, but still let's go through them. To ensure that software is bug free, that means expecting is matching the actuals. The very basic example that we took for the login form, which is expecting should be matching the actual. So if expecting is matching the actuals, that means we say that the quality check is passed and software is bug free. To ensure that system meets the business requirements, for example, if I enter a valid if I enter the invalid search, then I should see an error or the warning message. Let's take an example for this. If I go to Flipkart and I try searching something that is not available there, right? What do I see? Sorry, no results found. Please check the spelling and try reaching out for something else. Correct? So if I enter invalid, then I'm getting a warning message or I'm getting the error message. Well, if I enter a valid string, then I should see the valid search. For example, if I search Adidas, then I should be able to see the entire shoes that are available for Adidas. To ensure the system meets the end user perspective and requirements from every stakeholder. Now, what do you understand? What do you mean by stakeholders? Stakeholders are the business owners or people who have invested their amount into the business. If we talk about any e-commerce giant, there are a lot of people, maybe one, two, more than two or three, who have invested their amount, their time into the application development into that particular business. Right? You might have seen Shark Tank. You might have seen people coming up on board and asking for uh, amount to be invested into their business, right? All these entrepreneurs. So what exactly the people who actually have the amount they invest. Now once they invest, they become the stakeholder into the business. They become the business partners. So everyone has their own set of requirements, their own mindset runs in different directions, and software testing prime importance is that if, let's say, Shabir and I are starting a company, we are the investors in one of the company. Shabir might say that I want the font color to be blue. For example, if I talk about Flipkart, Shabir might say that I do not want the font behind this color to be blue. I want it red. And then probably I might contradict to it saying that no, red doesn't look good, let's go with blue. Now this can be anything. Now you might say that I do not want this color. I might say that. Can you see this color getting changed, guys? Just have a look at this. Explore now. Can you see the color getting changed? Now it's black. Now it's white. So this is what exactly is all about. Sabir might say it should be black. I might say it should be white, and then things might go vice versa. So that's the reason why we say that every stakeholder's values are important, and we all need to cover up in such a way that every requirement of the stakeholders get matched to make it cost effective. For example, if the bugs are caught in early stage, then rework, cost, and everything are saved. Like if you develop the website, you launch the website, people start coming to your website and they are not able to make payments. So $1 million business is down, right? Let's say $10 million business is down. Why? Because I am able to add a product to cart. Let's say if I go to the shoes, I add a product to cart. But now the problem is I'm not able to make a payment, right? I'm not able to log in. I'm not able to sign up. So my entire customer journey is impacted. And that's the reason why we say that to make it cost effective, testing is important. Now we basically come up and touch base on what are the skills that are required to become a good software tester. No rocket science, simple. You should have a strong verbal and written communication, which I think you already have. All of you really have a good, strong verbal and written communication. Second thing is passion to learn and understand what exactly testing is, how the concept behind the application works. Third thing is technical. I'm not saying that you need to have a core technical skills for automations, but you should be technically sound to understand what exactly the business requirement is, how the business is changing on a day-to-day basis. If any new requirement comes up, how you need to tackle that as a software tester, or how you need to tackle that as a, let's say, the proactive team member. And then analytical skills. You have to analyze what exactly can be the area of impact of this particular requirement. Stating it with a simple example, what I tried, what I tried basically was logging into the application, right? Placing the order. I'm not able to place now. Why? Because I have to analyze it that if I am not logged in, I will not be able to make an order. Now there can be two things. Either I can first log in, or I can quickly select the product, add it to cart, and then try to log in. So there were two user journeys that came up, right? And that's how we have to think from the analytical perspective as well. Attitude, definitely a positive attitude is always good to have. Productivity, how soon, how late you are, how faster you are able to catch up on things, and that's what is productivity all about. Now after that is like software tester career path. If in case you are a fresher or you took a break from work or could be XYZ reasons, so the moment you start off is like a QA fresher. I'm talking about a freshman who passes out from the college. After 2 3 years, you become senior QAs, then you become team leads. After 5 6 plus years, you become test managers. Then you have senior test managers of 14 plus years. You can be account managers and something like that. Now there are alternate career options and opportunities as well that you can go ahead and target to, is like business analysis, scrum master, product managers and stuff. If you know automation, you can chime into automation as well. You guys can even switch into development fields as well if need be. Now there is like myths about software testing. So software testing as a career path, people think that being paid less, which is currently wrong, and then they think that software testing is boring. That is also not a forte. So everything is interesting if you have a great mindset to learn about. I know this session kind of look theoretical right now, but this is something that we had to start off with to give a clear, crisp understanding what exactly testing is, why we need to do testing, what are the basic fundamentals, and then only we'll be able to, take a next step. It's as simple as that, guys. If you have to reach on top, you have to go through stairs one by one. Or even if you have to use escalators, you have to go there first floor, second floor, third floor. You directly cannot go on to the top floor. All right. And then this is a basic salary structure. We'll not go with that. Last slide is the Q&A. And if anyone has any questions, any concerns, uh, feel free to ask for now. Do we have any questions, concerns?